Local AT&T workers walking off the job this morning over what they say are unsafe working conditions during the pandemic, and a bipartisan group of lawmakers in Washington putting forth a last-ditch effort to pass a relief bill before the winter recess. In California, getting hundreds of thousands of doses of vaccines in the coming weeks, how the distribution could work and how it could impact San Diego. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Now, this morning, a bipartisan group of lawmakers from the House and Senate unveiling a $900 billion coronavirus relief package. The bill would allocate nearly $300 billion for things like small business loans and cover a $30 a week federal boost to unemployment. It includes a number of compromises, the unemployment funding chief among them. It does not include stimulus checks. It comes about a week before lawmakers are scheduled to leave Washington for a winter recess. However, Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell have not said whether they'd back today's proposal.
If we see these trends continue, the potential for a stay-at-home order for those regions in purple.
Governor Gavin Newsom threatening a stay-at-home order that would impact 51 of the 58 counties in our state. Governor later tweeting California has worked hard to prepare for this surge, but cannot sustain the record high cases we are seeing. He is urging everyone to stay at home as much as possible over the next few weeks. Well, today, a CDC advisory committee is expected to vote on the guidelines on who should receive the first round of COVID-19 vaccines once one gets approval. ABC 10 reporter Marie Cornell breaks down the timeline and what this may mean for San Diego County.
As we wait for the FDA to approve a COVID-19 vaccine, a CDC advisory committee made up of experts is expected to lay out the plans to determine who will get vaccinated first.
How much good are you going to do? How many lives are you going to save? Second is, what's fair? What's the fair way to do it? And the third is, how can we do this openly, transparently, so that there's no backroom deals? It's clear what's happening.
On GMA this morning, Dr. Tom Frieden, who was the former director of the CDC, laid out the kinds of questions this CDC advisory committee will be looking at as they set the COVID-19 vaccination guidelines. Health officials have suggested seniors with underlying health conditions and medical workers should be among the first to get the vaccine. Right now, two companies, Pfizer and Moderna, have submitted their vaccines for emergency approval. Officials say vaccines will be shipped out as soon as they get the green light from health regulators. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom has said they anticipate getting about 327,000 doses in mid-December from Pfizer, with the second doses to follow about 3 weeks after. The state's drafting guidelines work group is working on their recommendations for phase 1 of this distribution. Once that is ready, it will be reviewed by the Community Advisory Vaccine Committee. Dr. Frieden does caution once the vaccines are given, there will need to be careful monitoring.
When you vaccinate millions of people, some people get really sick after the vaccination, and you don't know whether that was the vaccine or that was just coincidence.
FDA regulators will begin reviewing the vaccines on December 10th. Reporting from home, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
While limited distribution of a vaccine may be on the horizon, state officials raising the alarm about the impact a surge in cases could have on California hospitals. Here in San Diego, one plan for overcrowding a federal medical station set up at Palomar Medical Center. It has hundreds of beds that could be used to take on select COVID patients from overwhelmed hospitals in the area.
It could be beds that we would be able to offload some of the less sick patients from other systems into there so that they could handle the sicker patients. We don't have a solid plan in place for it yet.
While it may seem like an extreme option, the governor yesterday warning about a surge in hospitalizations across the state. Hospitals in San Diego say they're seeing about 3 times as many patients now as they were just a few months ago. And 25% of coronavirus patients they see are ending up in the ICU. They say they may have to scale back elective surgeries to make more room. Well, many restaurants working to comply with the health orders, but adjusting to the cold weather could be causing some problems. State health officials are reminding restaurants about guidelines for any outdoor makeshift dining structures. Now, here's a look at some of the setups state officials say are acceptable. They say they are worried while businesses try to shield patrons from the cold, they could be creating environments that make the virus easier to spread. A group of workers at AT&T at the call center in Miramar have walked out on the job today, saying they are concerned about a number of recent positive COVID cases at the center. 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie spoke to the local union president about what the workers hope to see happen next.
One half of the fifth floor is where we have 12 positive coronavirus cases, and they've all happened in the last 2 weeks.
Chris Roberts is the Local Communication Workers of America union president, and he says the union organized today's walkout after tracking the cases at the call center in Miramar. The CWA has asked its members to notify the union if they test positive for coronavirus, and then the union sends a message out to the rest of the members without naming the individuals. He also says they confirm the cases with the county. They're asking for the call center to send workers home who may have been exposed and to make accommodations to further distance some of the employees, particularly those who are at high risk. For now, Roberts says they'll be outside awaiting a response. AT&T did respond to our request for information. A spokesperson says they're working on confirming the positive cases and will provide us with a statement later today. Mary McKenzie, ABC 10 News.
The county is now accepting applications for its emergency rental assistance program. Applicants can receive grants of up to $3,000 to cover a max of 2 months' rent. The applications will be reviewed on a first-come, first-served basis. Head to 10news.com to check on your eligibility for the program. So this morning, President-elect Joe Biden introducing his economic team, including his pick for Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. And that coming as President Trump continues to fight the election results, refusing to concede. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
While President Trump appears to acknowledge the reality that his days in the White House are numbered, he's nowhere closer to acknowledging the legitimacy of his defeat. Phoning into a meeting in Arizona, a state Trump lost, he continued to promote unfounded conspiracy theories that the election was stolen from him.
The 2020 election was rigged. It was a scam, and the whole world is watching, and they're laughing at our country. They're laughing at us.
Trump has also been lashing out at his allies, turning his attacks on Republican Arizona Governor Doug Ducey, who he once endorsed.
You have a governor named Ducey who just rushed, couldn't have gone faster. He just rushed to sign certificates.
Ducey defending the integrity of the vote in his state, writing in a lengthy tweet, "We have some of the strongest election laws in the country." In Georgia, another state where Biden narrowly beat Trump, the president turning on state GOP leaders, blasting Governor Brian Kemp and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger on Twitter as hapless and obstinate for not voiding legally cast ballots in the state.
Once this recount is complete, everyone in Georgia will be able to have even more confidence in the results of our elections. Despite the massive amounts of misinformation that is being spread by dishonest actors.
All 6 states that Trump or his allies have legally contested have now been certified for President-elect Joe Biden: Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Georgia is gearing up for 2 Senate runoff races, but there's growing concern in GOP circles that Trump's false claims of widespread voter fraud could discourage Republican turnout, thereby handing Democrats control of the Senate and the White House in 2021. And Trump's allies seem determined to continue this losing legal fight with virtually no path to victory. They've asked the Supreme Court to reconsider a case in Pennsylvania and reverse the state's certification of the 2020 election. The Supreme Court has already rejected rehearing this case once before. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Well, coming up, an update on our Month of a Million Meals campaign and how you can help San Diego families struggling with hunger.
And our warm weather is about to get gusty and dry. I'll pinpoint the fire weather watch that goes into effect tomorrow night.
All right, taking a look at the stock market, the Dow up some 287 points right now. Investors very encouraged by the vaccine progress and the potential for a return of economic activity. Also, the S&P, the NASDAQ hitting record highs today. The NASDAQ Stock Exchange looking to add more diversity to their listed companies. A proposal was filed to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. It would require boardroom diversity, including at least 1 woman, 1 minority. Companies that do not meet the diversity requirement will not be delisted from NASDAQ. Now, corporate boards are currently overwhelmingly white and male. Well, CVS and Walgreens are preparing to be among the first companies in the U.S. to provide coronavirus vaccines. Those vaccinations would take place in long-term care facilities, not retail stores. Back in October, the Trump administration announced agreements with both companies to give vaccinations to facility residents nationwide. CVS says they could begin in mid-December, and Walgreens plans to start within days of receiving vaccine doses. Well, some major brands are stepping up to help small businesses. Lowe's just opened back up its grant application process, and it's going to run through Sunday. Retail chain says it will be giving out $55 million in grant money. eBay has also helped small businesses during the pandemic, and they're giving another $500,000 to 50 small businesses. eBay is also featuring small businesses on their holiday marketplace, Pinterest, and Instagram accounts. Women may be more susceptible to deadly heart problems than men. According to a new study, women have a 20% higher risk of dying within 5 years following a severe heart attack compared to men. Also, according to the American Heart Association, doctors are less likely to investigate early risk factors with women heart issues. And that's why they are more often older than men when their first heart attack is confirmed.